Hi, my lovely spectators. Dee Dee here, and welcome to my studio. So, today we're going to try another 3 under 30. It is still August, it is the 29th, and I am hoping that I am going to have some success because what I want to do is make 3 junk journals, set them up in the 30 minutes. And so I have papers, I have some bits and pieces over here on the side. I have some washi. I've got some random little scrappy papers, and I have some digitals. I forgot where. I think these are from Margaret. Margaret. These. This, I forgot where this is from. I have the Bob's Your Uncle. I have another one that I know is hers, and I'm not sure. Anyway, so I got a bunch of papers, right? So for 3 junk journals, I should be set. How am I going to do it in 30 minutes? This is how. Because they're minis. Anyway, what I want to do is I want to be able to kind of cover them and do a little bit of prepping them because I'm going to be putting them in sale for a craft fair that I'm going to be doing out here my way. So I thought it'd be a cute idea. I don't have my crocodile big chomper thing, but I plan to punch a hole later and put a ring binder on it because I have one in my bag that I do that and has some stuff on it. And it could be a little junk journal to go. So let's get to creating these 3. My timer is right here. It's set for 30. I've got glue. I've got this. I need to cut the papers with you and give you those measurements. Now, I really think that not all mini composition books are the same. The ones that I had prior, I think were a little thinner. These I purchased off of Amazon. A pack of 30, I believe. Might have been like $20. I'm not 100% sure, but relatively speaking, compared to the ones in the dollar store, you can get 3 for $1, I heard. I think they were about the same price. So I think these are a little bit better quality, but they have a sharper edge. Anyway, let's get to crafting. So, let me start. My little person's here, so the 30 minutes is here. I'm gonna press start, and there we go. I'm just gonna be cutting a bunch of paper and prepping it so that way then we can take it in, put it into each of the journals. So again, my space is very small. My studio is my table in my living room, and that is very limiting sometimes. So I have measured what I think would be the best measurements, right? Because I want to not have to have too much overflow. So the books appear to be 2 3/4 by 4.5. And when I look at 2 3/4, I'm talking about from the edge of this black binding, 2 3/4, and then the full thing is 4.5. So I'm gonna cut one right now just to compare. I'm not sure if it'd be the smartest idea. I'm gonna have one that's gonna have like ledgery stuff in it. I'm gonna have one that's gonna be like the T, and then the other one is gonna be like the Bob's your uncle. Okay, I have these things so that I can maybe add some decoration a little more so on the inside, but we're gonna try to get the whole thing so that it looks like one and add a little bit of decor in this 30 minutes. Okay, so I'm gonna start with this one because I'm gonna need to cut off a little bit of the edge. Okay, so I like to look my measurements down close by me. So if I have to reference my measurements, I'll do that up here. I'm just gonna cut off some white right now. The white piece, I don't need that. And I don't need this white piece over here. Okay, so I'm just gonna toss that. Now I need for it to be a width of 2 3/4. So I'm gonna come up here to 2 3/4 and I'm gonna cut that. Okay, now let's take a look in comparison. So right there, when I hit it right up to the black, it seems to be perfect. So I'm gonna need a piece in the front and a piece in the back, and we're gonna go from there. So 2 3/4, I'm gonna cut off the white over here. I need to cut off the white over here. And so I need a piece that is 4.5. So I'm gonna go up to 4.5 right here. So you could see 4.5. I'm gonna do a little cut. And then because I like this piece here, I'm going to turn it around to 4.5. And I'm going to cut this. Now, let's hope. Let us hope that this is going to look fantastic. So there you go. Is it a slight bit off? Maybe. You know, it's a little bit off, but I think we can maybe fuss that with some inking, because I am going to try to ink some of these pieces. Okay. So this is what you say. You got the idea. So I think I'm going to wind up cutting this again. I like that it had this date up here, but that's okay. Probably cutting it a little bit bigger is probably the smarter deal. Let's see here. And also I might be cutting it off because I am cutting it up high by you guys so you can see. And then, yeah, so see, this one seems to be good. So let me try cutting. We'll cut another one. So we're going to do that again. We're going to cut at 2 3/4. Okay, and then I'm going to cut a little piece off down here, and then some off over here, and then I need to do 4.5. So I am down here because I'm just trying to get it a little bit more accurate, closer to me. Okay, all right. So let's see. Do I do this one now? Yes. So I was more closer, accurate to me. So okay. So here we have our front and our back of one. Okay. We also have these guys. So these guys fit perfect in here for different things. So obviously, what are we going to do? We're going to cut some stuff. So it's 4 1/4, 4.5. So what I'm going to do is, I really need for you guys to see this. But anyway, I'm going to go to 2 inches. And I'm going to cut a pocket for the front. Another 2 inches and a pocket for the back. Okay. I'm going to take this guy that I really liked. I'm going to put him on a diagonal. Yeah, I'm going to lose that piece, but that's okay. Put it on a diagonal. Let's see here. Just an arbitrary diagonal. I'm going to have a side pocket. Okay. And let me cut these white pieces off of this. So the front cover is really, and the width of it is really important. And of course, you know, having the height not be so much. But then all the other pieces that you want to kind of add, there should be, you know, good to go. So I'm going to cut 2 more 4.5 pieces. Okay. All right. So I got a bunch of these pieces cut. I'm going to do that for the other ones as well. And then we'll put one together and then we'll put the next one together. These little bits here, I'm going to keep. Who knows how we can incorporate them. All right, let's do another guy. Let's do this one. We need to cut it widthwise at 2 3/4. So we're going to do that. Okay, and then we need to cut it at 4.5, which I'm going to do down here for the front. So let me see if I want the front to be this or the front to be that. I think I don't like the T-pocketing cut. I'm going to call the top being the front. 4.5. So here's our cover for this guy. So let's take a look, right? And that looks good, right? Nice. You know, there we go. So we need a back cover. So we're going to use the other piece because this one I knew wasn't big enough. We're going to do 2 3/4 over here again, 2 3/4. And then we're going to then do the half. And I think I do like this teapot and the word T for the back. So I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to do this here. Okay. So I have my back. So now I have a front and a back. And because I already have the width, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and cut it at 2. Okay. Again. And I will have, and it happens to be the same. So I will have pockets for the front and the back. I will take this guy, which was cut at 2 3/4, and I will do my little diagonal again to create like a little side tuck. This I'm not throwing out. I have these guys, which I'm going to cut at 4.5 and possibly be able to use them in some way. And another one that I'm going to cut at 4.5. Okay. All right, so we've got the bits and pieces cut for the second journal. Okay, Now the third journal, I wanted to use the Bob's Your Uncle one. I think I need another piece. I had another printout. I was pretty sure. Where is she? I had a full sheet. See, this is what delays you because you think you got it straight. Hold on. Maybe it's over here. Oh, yes, with some other stuff that I had. Okay, so let me put that in the scraps. Woo, and put this over here. So we'll leave that for the scraps. And I'm all over the place. Okay, so kind of some stuff's running this way versus that way. So I think I'm going to take the height first this time. I'm going to do my 4.5 up to here, 4.5. Right? Okay, I'm going to put that on the side. And then I'm going to do my 2 3/4. So 2 3/4. Okay, I'll put this for the back. And I think I like this for the front, so I'll turn this around. 2 3/4 for the front. Okay. And then I'm going to cut 2 3/4 here. And then let's see what this is. Oh, it's 2 3/4. Perfect. So we're going to take one of them. Let's take some 2 inches for a pocket. Well, this is 2.5. Oh, no. 2. Let's put it here. Okay, so we'll have 2 pockets. Right? Oh, I was a little off, but that's okay. They're not going to be in the same spot. And then I'm going to do another one of these little diagonal situations. And we're going to also, let's say 2 inches. Sure, we're going to just make a 2-inch slice. And then I'm going to cut it at 4.5. Let's see if I can get another 4.5. 4.5. Okay, and then I just have another little scrap. Okay, so now we have our pieces for our third one. Okay, so let's talk about putting this together and getting the base of our mini junk journals prepped. Okay, and so I'm going to grab some ink. I'm going to go old school with just some vintage photo. I'm going to put the bad boy over there and just load her up with that. Let's see, which one shall we start with? Well, let's start with the beginning. So we're going to go to the one that we started with first. We cut this guy out. And we'll talk about putting this one together. So, there's quite a number of pieces. All right. I think this was extras, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. Okay, so I wanted to kind of have this as the front. So I'm gonna ink one. Hopefully this is gonna. I'm already 10 minutes in, but we've cut everything. So I don't know. We'll see if I can ink everything. At least the front and the back. I'm gonna ink, and so we'll get it prepped. It's a great idea, I think, for the craft shows. But again, I bringing out the junk journal to the masses. I know the local scrapbooking place that I go to has just started to carry some stuff geared towards junk journaling with some vintage and stuff like that. From what's it called? Well, she only sells wholesale, Betty's Bits and Bobs, but she's on Instagram and you can see the type of things. But yeah, so they're starting to do that. They have classes and they plan to start some classes. So that is something that is intriguing to me. And so we shall see how that goes. Anyway, so let me just finish up doing this. Okay. And then with this, I wanted to also add a little bit of fun on the edges. And I'm going to be adding some tabs here and there. I don't know if that's something that a person would want, but we shall be adding some tabs and some random little pieces throughout. Okay, so in all realities, the way that I have cut these pieces is the same elements to start off with for all of them. Okay, so let's put one together before we get stuck. Oh no! So we've got 2 pockets. We have an interior pocket, and then this is going to go inside as well. I think I'm going to do it as like a pocket on one of the pages. Well, we shall see. That was my intention. So I like the red line being the front cover. So what I'm going to do is we're going to put that with our glue. We're going to go right up to the edge of our thing, of our little notebook. We also want to make sure we get a good amount down here at the corners, because the corners could lift. And the edges, always a good thing to get some good amount of coverage on the edges. Okay, we don't want a lot of squishage, but we want to make sure that it's well done. Okay, and there we go. So we're going to put our little paper down. Okay, now this is not our glitter glue, so I may have a little bit of wiggle room, so I want to make sure that I match up to the edge of this black binding, the edge here, and then I get the corner. So I'm going to turn this over, press it down, and I'm also going to check if I have anything that's like hanging over. I can do it a quick little zip zip and get rid of it, but it looks pretty good. So our front of our junk journal is done. We'll go to the back. You could do it on here instead if that's you like to handle the glue and it's a little easier. Maybe the book feels bulky, I don't know. I do that and then bring it to make sure the front, which one's the front, and the up and all that great orientation stuff. And then I want to slide it up because I have a little bit of sliding time. Gotta make sure I get it on there nice and straight. So this one does seem like it's still a little bit short, but I'm gonna ink it and see what happens there. Okay, because maybe I measured it to the front of the book, and then look, the front of the book is slightly different. So if I can just ink off those white, maybe I'll get something a little darker. Okay, remember these are handmade items as well. Okay, so yeah. Okay, if I want, I can also probably, maybe not those pages, but this page here, just to add to the aesthetic, right, is to ink inside here. Maybe I should have let this set up a little bit longer. Okay. So I'm not trying to get the pages too dirty. I know there's a lot of white pages in there, and there's a lot that you can do to add even more to the inside, but for right now we're just going to get the cover and some of the bases set up. Okay, all right. Okay, one little bit more over here. Probably didn't need to do the bottom really, but okay. So this is the front, and so inside here we cut a piece to make a little pocket, right? So because it's a little narrower, I'm not gonna make it a full pocket. I'm gonna make it like a tuck. So I'm gonna put glue on two sides. Okay. So we got two sides, and then I'm gonna stick it right up against the edge, right there. Okay. I'm gonna do so also to the back. Okay. You could also make little mini coin envelopes, which I'm thinking of doing some envelopes here. Let me make sure I got the thing correctly oriented. And then maybe make some flippy floppies, like fake envelopes, not fake envelopes, the little envelopes. You know, we make them ourselves out of some copy paper. And add them on here like that. Okay, so we've got these two little tuck spots. Now, the paper is, you know, there's 100 sheets. So this is 50 sheets and this is 50 sheets. So I want to kind of divide them a little bit. I'm going to take this one here and I'm going to put it here in the center to provide a little tuck on this page. So I'm going to just, you know, do that. Open it up. Okay. So I've got some stuff going on inside. I'm going to do this. Okay. If you want to make them full pockets, you know, you then have to make them a little bit wider. But I'm good with a little tuck because, you know, this is small. And to make a small little pocket is also kind of like, so try to make it straight as possible. There we go. Now we have a little tuck inside. With these guys, what I wanted to do was I wanted to fold it in half or somehow. So half might be a little too shallow. Well, let's do 1/2. So if I fold this in half, right, fold that in half like that, get myself nice and matched up. What I could do is, so let me find like the halfway point here. Let's say it's about here, okay? What I want to do is I want to add this on the edge, okay? So add this on the edge, I'm going to add it, and this could be a tuck, so you have to add glue here, okay? And add here, okay? And I would add it just on the center here, right? Because we're just making a little tuck. And then we're just going to clamp it over the page like this. Okay, and then we're going to just let it grab, and we're going to see how that looks. So it's not even that, just, you know, it's not poking out that much. Okay, the same thing you can do with that. So now, just to show you, we have a little tuck here. We got a pocket, another pocket, tuck, and a little tuck in the back. Okay, I'm gonna stop here with this one because we have, you know, another one to put together, and I want to try to get 3 of them put together. The other thing that I wanted to add here were some of my whale tails, right? So let me at least put one on here to show you. So I have the whale tail in black that I have a file that I set up for my silhouette, and I cut a bunch of them in one, all different shapes, and that's there on my Ko-Fi. So, you know, this way, I mean, it's I can understand the, see, look how cute that is with the little tab sticking out, and I could add more tabs. So I do have more tabs to add, but let's go and put together another one and see how cute that is. Let's look at this guy here. I'm still going to use Vintage Photo. Let's get the pieces that we need. This is upside down. That's not the one. Okay. And throwing them all in the same place was probably not the smartest. But anyway, this is extras over here. So here we go. Let's just ink everything up real quick. Right, just to have a little bit of color and some aging on here. Okay, these are our pockets. Our pockets here. And then the edges here. And oops, and then this edge here. Okay, so we got our pockets. We got our little edge tab thingy, pocket tuck. Okay. And then we have our little side guy. Okay. There we go. And now we're going to do our front and our back. Oh, well, hopefully I'll get to make all 3, and then I'll continue decorating a little bit more if you guys want to hang around past the construction of the 3 projects. All right, so here we go yet again. I want this guy to be the, oh, you know what? This is cute because this is T. I think I'm going to put this one on the front instead. Okay, so we're going to put this one in the front. Okay, and alright, I'll put that edge and then something in the middle, get that nice and glued, bring it up to the edge, this black edge, and try to smush that up, move it over. So you want something a little more friendly than art glitter glue. If I'm going to have anything showing, I probably would prefer for it to be at the bottom, but it stopped moving. I have a little bit of white showing. I'm just going to get that up to just knock it out, and while I'm here, turn it over and do the other side. Okay. And again. Okay. Okay, let's do the back. Do the same. Yes. Okay. Check. Yep, that's the front. I don't know how the front could change on us, but you never know. I always want to double check, right? It's like, oh no, it's in the wrong orientation. Okay, so that looks like it's glued in nice. Okay, I don't see any edges. The other side, I'm going to ink while I'm here. Okay, and then we're going to put it in. Okay, so there we go. Nice little cute little journal front. We're going to look at for something in the front. I'm gonna put this guy. So again, I'm gonna do it as a tuck. Now I prefer to do it as a tuck, and also, if you notice, putting it on this side, because if anything wants to fall out, it's not gonna fall out to the floor. If it's gonna shift, it'll hit over here, so that'll be helpful in keeping things in place. Same thing on this side. If you notice, I'll pick this one here. Is this upside down? No, this is this way. Check your font. Sometimes it says gibberish, but you can still tell if a font is upside down. And I'm gonna put it on this side so that my tuck is doing the same thing over here. It's gonna push the stuff that way, okay? And then again, in the center, I wanna add this guy here. So I'm gonna put that here on this page. Oh no, oh no. I'm gonna do that here. I think on the other one, I might have put it the other way because of the way that it was cut. So my little trick I forgot about. Okay, this is there. And then we have the same thing. We have one that we can fold over. I'm not gonna do it on this one. I'm going to find the center like we did last time, more or less. And then I'm actually gonna make this like a little wider pocket. So you don't always have to fold it over. I think the folding over is cute because you get a tuck on both sides. But we can just do it on one side. And then we need to get that to the edge. So we're gonna have to lift up that paper and make sure that it's no, do not, okay. Do not bend. Okay, there we go. So now we have, again, we have a bigger pocket, and we've got our little front and back, right? And we're gonna be able to add this. And for this one, I had made these, so these are also on that same file. So I thought that the yellow went a little bit well with the colors of like the tea and the flowers and stuff like that. And it's got a little kind of design on there. Let's take the first page. This one will line up right there with the top. I think this is called like a bull clip, like Taurus bull. Okay, and there we go. It sticks out on the side. All right, let's see if we can get back to this. And here we have our final one. 4 minutes. Oh my God. Okay. So these are front and back. This is the thing. This is a pocket. That's a pocket, and that's an edge thing. Okay. These are the pieces we have to ink. Okay. So inside, I'm gonna ink this. Okay, and then these are the pockets. And if you wanted to add a little bit of a slit or side tuck on the pockets on the inside, or the tucks on the inside, you could do that. They don't have to be a square piece of paper. I could show you that too. Okay, there we go. Okay. Okay, and then this is the foldy thing. There we go. And then okay, now I'm rushing, so now I got really quiet. Got nothing to chat about now. All right, almost 3 minutes. Can I put it together in 3 minutes? I think so. Okay. So yeah, so I plan to put these out there for sale. I'm not gonna do a ton of them. I have a box of like 30, which I've used a few, so I have a bunch. I have maybe 20. I don't know if making 20 of these is gonna be the greatest thing, and I'm not even sure how much to sell them for, so that's another thing. you know, because the aesthetic. But I don't have to do them all the same aesthetic. The inking, I don't think is something that is strictly junk journal. And the inside having pockets, I don't think that that's strictly junk journal. I think what you add to it in this case is going to be what makes it a little more unique, and that's something individual to the person that buys it. So, oh, this is interesting. Don't turn it over. What does Margaret say? Don't look on the back. Don't look on the back. So, yeah, don't look on the back. It's okay if you look on the back before you inked it, but I already inked the other side. So, let's put this guy here. Okay, so we're down to the wire. Let's do this. There we go. Okay. Come on. I'm so lucky that this glue does allow for a little bit of wiggle room. Okay, so this has a little bit of white showing, which we will knock out from visual. We're going to open this up and we're going to get the inside inked a little bit. Okay, while we're here, we're going to grab a pocket. So say you didn't like the straight, you could do a little angle, right? And then you can have a little bit of a slant there. There we go. Okay. If you wanted to do that, that's a possibility. You could leave the other one like you were planning for it to be. I think this feels like it. Or, you know what? Let's write in. This is a little bit long. So, of course, on the last one, when I have no time left, there's a little bit of trimming needed. Okay, it's okay. Let's ink that. 40 seconds. But I'm going to say I made it. Because, I don't know. I'm just the idea is there. It's almost there. And if you wanted to, you could make it even a taller and less deep. So I'm going to turn this one on its side. Okay. I'm going to put it here. Hopefully you guys are, I don't know, like this, right, instead. So we still have that pocket there. We're going to go to the middle. So the middle's going to have our little slanty one. So I'm going to put it here. I could put it here. But again, I'm afraid of things falling out that way. So, okay. That was 30 minutes. I think we did good. Okay, so let's see how much more time I'm going to utilize just to finish up this. What did I do here? What did I do? I put it on the wrong side. Rushing. All right, you know what? This guy's going to become a pocket, unfortunately. I could try to wipe off the glue, but I don't know. So I'll put it more towards the center. Here we go. Okay. And then we'll do another one of those where we fold it in half. Okay. Okay. And then we'll find a spot somewhere in the middle. Again, this one, I would put some glue in the middle just because. Down this edge and this edge, this edge and this edge. And then I will find a page over here. And I'll put a one on the other side as well. Right, a page over here. And I would put it right on that page. Up to the edge. Okay. Okay. I have to move it a little bit. I don't have much wiggle room. But you know what? Maybe it's a little short, so I'll just put a little ink there. Okay. So let's see. So yeah, that's good. And then for this one, I had cut out these guys. So, well, they were in my stash. Again, I don't know. I know I've been finding more and more people talk about using their Cricut and Silhouette to kind of like set up stuff, and I think that that's like awesome. But sometimes it's like I want a tab, and like I don't have the right color or something, then I wish I had the punch. So I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Are you coming across that? All right. So it is 27. So I'm going to stop that here. So listen, was it 30 minutes? No, it was like 33 minutes. So there you go. We've got 3 little mini junk journals ready to be decorated and whatnot. Now in terms of a closure, go to the 99-cent store. I'm thinking this is just one of those hair ties. And then call it George. Because, you know, in 30 minutes. Otherwise, you could put an eyelet hole and maybe some ribbon and tie a little bow here. That's another thing. Or you could tie it this way. But for right now, I was just going to use a rubber band from the dollar store for your hair to do it. Okay, so that is my 3 under 30, which I believe was 3 under 30. So you have your cover, you have an inside, a little tuck spot, a little tab. We'll probably put another tab someplace else. I cut like 4 of them. Another little pocket in here, tab thing, and then a pocket at the back. I want to add a couple of envelopes, and I'm going to be putting some washi. So I'm going to cut some of this washi and just like put it at the bottom of a few pages. For this one, the same thing, add the rest of the elements in here with the tabs. And then in some of the spots, I'm going to put this washi that has some font on it, just on a few pages to add a little bit more. And then for this ledgery one, I'm going to add all the pieces in there as well. And then I have this one here that has some officey stuff and labels. So I'm going to be adding that to that. Plus you can add labels and such to the front of here. Maybe a nice botanical. Who knows what I could add here that doesn't stray far from the overall. So now I'm noticing a little bit of like whatever, and a little bit here. I could take a marker and just cover that white for presentation value. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed my little mini junk journal escapade over here, and maybe it'll inspire you to make some craft fair items, you know, or for your little friends. Why did I say little friends? That's not working. So you know what? I could just put some washi tape over that and call it George. So yeah. So anyway, until the next time, I do want to say thank you to everyone who's been subscribing. So I looked, and I know it seems really corny, but like August 2nd, I started adding videos for the challenge. And like I said before in another video, I was at, what was I at? 3 subscribers, and I'm at 105 the last time. So under a month I've gotten 100 subscribers because of the consistency of posting, and also because, you know, the community is, I think, growing and stuff. So yeah, this is my extra crispy coffee dyed paper. I love me some coffee dyed paper. I think I'm gonna put that to cover my little faux pas over there. So yeah, so I can add little pieces here. I mean, you know, want to build a channel. I'm going back to work on Tuesday. I teach. So I'm going to look forward to adding content when I can. I want to try to do a couple at least a week. I know there's another challenge coming out. You guys are going to participate. I feel like I don't really have that many scraps. I don't tend to keep a lot of scraps. You know, most of my pages are like digital or scrapbook paper, and the storage of the stuff that's new is more important than the storage of the stuff that is like half used. So this just happened to be there because I haven't cleaned off this desk in a minute. But yeah, so I just added that there to add a little decoration. And I had what else did I have? Oh, I had this this to and from thing here. I could put that here. I could cut it down. I don't know. Let me think about it. Right? Because I also had, this is from like one of those 3, what do you call it? Those things where you have the 3 pieces. I coffee dyed it and stuff. So, you know, but I want to see if I have another piece of coffee dyed paper, just coffee dyed paper that I could put to like mimic the back. But yeah, that mountain is gonna fall. Anyway, like I was saying, thank you so much for subscribing. Those of you that have been watching my videos and decided to, give me that. That is awesome. Then also sharing, liking, commenting. I love to get comments, and I respond right back as fast as I see them. I want to say something back, and if at least a thank you for taking the time. And so until next time, which hopefully there's a couple more days in August, I want to see if I can come up with a couple more things. So you may see another one video or two out of me this month. And until the next time, remember that crafting is not a spectator sport. We got to get our hands dirty. So come and join me next time, and I'll see you later. Bye. Ciao, ciao.